So we have seen that how these plants can be categorized, can be classified into different groups by using different criteria. Actually, that there was a one mosquito which was disturbing me a lot, so it get disturb our conversation little. Let's see next. Now this was a Ischler in 1883. He has classified these all plants into two different categories. These two categories were sub kingdoms were cryptogamy and phanerogamy. Cryptogamy are having characteristics hidden reproductive organs or no flower or no seeds are present in cryptogams. And next is phanerogamy. In these cryptogams you can see here this there are algae and some pteridophytes are also there and some bryophytes are also there, which are not having any reproductive organ which we can see with the help of naked eyes. So these are this comes under the cryptogamy. These are the examples of cryptogamy which are shown in the diagram. Then cryptogamy further divided into we discuss, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. So Thallophyta is a group of organisms which are living in the water. Bryophyta are the organisms which are living on the banks of river or wherever there are some moist places are there. At that places these bryophytes are living, and pteridophytes, these are living at terrestrial areas where there will be a ample amount of water present for the purpose of reproduction. So first is bryophyta. These are the algae. This thallophyta will come. Sorry, not bryophyta. This is a thallophyta. In thallophyta there will be categorization of algae. Here this is shown as one of the algae which is having Chlamydomonas, which are living in the water. So examples of thallophyta are Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, Ulothrix, multi-celled Cladophora and multi-celled eukaryotic organism. These are the Chara. So these are the examples of thallophyta. What are the characteristics of thallophyta are? I told you these are residing in the water. They are living in the water. Their reproductive organs are not seen. They are hidden reproductive organs, and that's why they are categorized into the thallophyta. Flowers or seeds production is not there in this category, in this in this class. So you can just have a look around wherever there is a stagnant water. At stagnant water you can see different types of green pigmented water is present. So this green pigmented water is nothing but the algae. So these algae are playing very crucial role in this ecosystem. Most of the photosynthesis is done and most of the oxygen is evolved by these algae. About we know that about 70% water is present on the earth, let it be in sea or fresh water, but in sea also there are certain types of algae present, and these algae are playing very crucial role in the form of photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis is done very well by this algae, and they are having great importance in our life too, in the ecosystem, in as far as ecosystem is concerned. So these are the examples we have seen: Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, multicelled Ulothrix is there, Cladophora is there, Chara is there. All these are the examples of thallophyta which are living in the water. Then next group it comes as a bryophyta. In bryophyta we are going to see that wherever there is a mosses, where there is a green layer at moist places, these all are the bryophytes. So bryophytes are in the form of mosses. We know about funaria in our school at the stage side and on the bank of stage, or in the wall, at the wall of stage, or where water tanks are there, and the tanks there is a green layer, or in rainy season we have seen green layer on the ground. So that green layer is nothing but the mosses. So this is of moss, and these mosses are kept in the uh, subclass of kingdom Plantae, that is Bryophyta. So this is example of Bryophyta, that is Funaria. It is observed everywhere in the jungles, in the school campus, at our houses, where our water storing instruments are there, means tanks, cement tanks are there on that banks. We can see Funaria. Now this is the second example, that is Rixia and Mercantia. So Rixia and Mercantia are another examples of bryophytes. So what are the characteristics of bryophytes? So bryophytes are, they require both aquatic and terrestrial conditions for the completion of their life cycle. So they cannot complete their life cycle only in water like algae. So algae are completing their life cycle in water itself, but bryophytes can't complete their life cycle only in the water. They require terrestrial habitat also. So they prefer to live, because for gamete production and for releasing of gamete they require water. So they are present in on both in water as well as terrestrial conditions. They do not have true leaves and roots. You might have seen here upside I shown you Funaria. So leaf like structures are seen, or stem like structures are seen, but these are not true. They are not true leaf or stem like structure, because vascular bundles or vascular tissues are not present in them. That's why they can be considered as a stem or leaves. So they do not have their leaves or true leaves and roots or special vascular tissues for the transportation of nutrients. So vascular tissue is very important aspect here. Vascular tissues, what is meant by vascular tissues? We know xylem and phloem are collectively called as a vascular tissues. In chapter tissue we have seen xylems and phloems in the types of plant tissues, xylems and phloems. Xylem conducts water and phloem conducts food. So these phloem and xylem collectively considered as a vascular tissues. So these vascular tissues are not present in the bryophytes. So Rixia, Mercantia and Funaria are best examples of bryophytes. So if you found any plant which are showing these characteristics, you can put them in the kingdom, in the class Bryophyta. Now next is Pteridophyta. So Pteridophyta under cryptogamy, this is the third class, that is Pteridophyta, last one. So what is the characteristics of Pteridophyta? Here two plants are shown here, Marsilea and horsetails and Marsilea. So pteridophytes are having, see here, evolution has taken place step by step. First of all it was algae, then it came to bryophyta. So algae were living in the water, bryophytes came on the bank of water. Now pteridophytes, they go away from the water, that is toward terrestrial habitat. But at the same time there is a gradual change in the tissue system. When plants were living in the water, there is no requirement of conduction of water. Already water is around, so conduction of water is not required. Conduction of food is not required, because all the cells are having photosynthetic ability. There is no requirement of conduction. As far as bryophytes were concerned, they were living on the banks of the water, or wherever there is a moist condition, shady conditions are there, water availability is there. So once again there is no requirement of conduction of water. But when organisms are coming to the terrestrial habitat, at that time at terrestrial habitat there is a requirement of conduction of water or conduction of food, because these two systems are different. Absorption of water is another system, preparation photosynthesis is another system. So here there is a requirement of conduction of water or food. So here henceforth whatever classes we are going to see, whatever different groups of plants we are going to see, in them there will be a true root, stem and leaves, as well as vascular tissues for conduction of water and food will be present. So here leaf, you can see in Marsilea, these are the leaves, stem and roots, they are truly present. And here once again naked or say some gamete formation might be seen, but it is not true. Here in case of pteridophytes, if you want to see the gametes, you have to turn the leaf. At the back side of leaf, here as it is shown in fern, on your screen there is a fern's photograph. They are having their spores behind their leaves, so they are hidden. Basically first characteristic of cryptogamy we have seen are hidden gametes. So here these gametes are hidden, they are not seen very regularly, or they cannot be seen very easily, then that's why these gametes are hidden gametes. So pteridophyta will well differentiated plant body and vascular tissues to conduct water and food to the different parts of the plant. This is first characteristic of pteridophyta. And second characteristic, naked embryos in the form of spores underneath the leaves are present. So these spores, whatever chocolate color dots are seen in the figure, they are called as spores. So these spores are getting released, and from these spores new plant will be developed. So this was about pteridophyta, characteristics of pteridophyta. Thank you very much. Next lecture we will discuss about the phanerogams, in which gymnosperms and angiosperms we are going to discuss. So based on this, I will give you some DPP or in-text questions. We are going to conduct some examinations also, multiple MCQ type of multiple choice type of questions will be asked, and then we will finish this chapter. In next chapter we are going to see about phanerogams. Now we have seen about cryptogams, phanerogams. Then in coming lessons, in coming lectures, we are going to see about kingdom Animalia. So this was about different groups of cryptogamy, different classes of cryptogamy we have seen. We can go further in next lecture. Thank you very much.